I want to talk about running, as in running on a track, as in running around in a circle, as in on the run, running for your life, running to something, running away from something, just running. You know, I see a lot of women running. Now, it doesn't mean that the men aren't also on the run. God love you. We love the men, but I'm talking to the ladies. I see common themes and common threads among all of you who contact me, no matter where you are in the process of becoming fabulous goddess warriors. There's a process of running, and it seems that we're all like running on this track. I wonder how many times I could say running. But it seems like we're all on this track of running. You know, like you're on a track and you're literally running. And then along the side are all these little booths, you know, booths in the bazaar of life that have water and some food and some snack and maybe an energy bar. But if you're just running, oh, no, I don't have time. I can't talk to you. I can't get better. I can't focus on it. I gotta run. And what are we running from? Pain and suffering, anxiety, loss of love, children, money, fear of money, fear of relationship, fear of love, fear of children, fear of moving forward, fear, running. Like, you know, we've come a long way, certainly. Whoa, hey. We've come a long way as women, but it's pretty fascinating watching all of us out there continuing on this cycle of pain and suffering and fighting against each other. I really wanted to comment on that today about running. Like, picture if you're running on a track. What exactly are you running from? Do you even remember? Do you recall why you're in a fight or flight mode? It's interesting because, I mean, after all this time of talking to all of you, and myself included, I spent a good 3 years of non-stop go. And finally, in my own life, I had to, because I just like ran out of steam, and then I stopped, you know, sit on the sidelines for a second, take some energy drink, eat a little energy bar, and just watch all y'all running. And then, you know, I sat there, listened to you. You broken a leg or sprained an ankle or whatever, and come talk to me on the sideline. And we all have such similar stories. And you know what? I think that many of us have forgotten why you're even running and why you even have a fight against your fellow females. Just think about it for a second. If you think back to the days when we first arrived on this soil of this fabulous country of ours, this is America, that is. You know, some people don't think it's fabulous anymore. I still love my country. I love it. I love it here. I think that a healing revolution is in order. I think if we all revolt, as in revolting in your own life, you get better. You wake up, and then you create dramatic change in your life. And then when you wake up and you get better, you're like, oh my gosh, it's like I've been asleep. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize. Look what's happened all around us. I need to get into the streets and do something about it. Report it. When we first arrived in this country, the only way to move forward and to move ahead was to get married and to have your guy. So we were fighting against each other and anti-women and just telling all kinds of stories about each other and gossip about each other. You know, as we're pumping water, oh, she's a dirty little whore. Or she's a witch. Etc., etc. In order to badmouth our fellow female so that we could get the attention of the guy. Because that's literally the only way you move forward. That was pretty much it. It was all about who you married and how you moved up in the world through how you married. But guess what, ladies? I know we're running and we're in this cycle of flight, but we have money now. Our own money. We own land. We do. We own land. The females own land. And you don't have to get married. Guess what? You don't have to have children. You don't. You do not. You can adopt. Guess what? You can adopt by yourself. I wouldn't recommend it. I recommend having a partner. But the point is, you no longer have to fight each other to get some guy in order to move forward in life. If you just think about that for a second, just the history of that, of where it all began, of how it all started. We're running and fleeing in the cycle of survival. In order to survive, you got to fight each other and you have to marry some guy. Well, guess what? You no longer have to fight each other, and you no longer have to marry the guy. Although, you know, I have nothing against marriage. I've done it times. That's an entirely different story that we'll tell later. Come see my comedy act in Los Angeles. But I wanted to talk about the whole running thing, and with the women in fight and flight mode. As in fighting each other. Look around. Just look around. There are some extraordinary women. There are extraordinary women in your life. I betcha. It's just a matter of first looking in the damn mirror at yourself and looking at how amazing you are. Let's take, for example, the women who are working on the Joy campaign. I am literally amazed every single day that I see one of your emails come through and I see what you're doing in your life for my book. And I'm very clear that I am simply a channel. I learned that a long time ago. This is not about me. If you want to hear about me, come see my comedy act at the Belly Room on March 9th in Los Angeles on Sunset Boulevard. That's all about me. But as far as my book and the movie, I am simply a channel. I'm very clear on that. I know that I'm a channel for the source. And I've had to do a lot of work in order to be a clear channel for that. But that being said, the women who are working on it, you are really extraordinary. And I've seen you change and seen you reveal yourself to yourself. And it's really a beautiful, beautiful thing to witness. Someone seeing themselves and then revealing themselves. And I am in a fabulous position that I really get to witness that a lot. And it's like, wow, that's better than TV! That's awesome! I want you to do more of that. Step back. That's today's tip. Just step back for a second on the sidelines and drink some water, eat an energy bar, you know, take a little electrolyte drink, and look at the track that you've been running on. Like, are you running still? Are you in this pace that you've got to keep up and you don't even stop to cook yourself a good meal? Or, you know, sit down and you rub your own feet? That feels good, by the way. It's real good to give yourself a good foot rub. Or just pause. Just... Because when you look around at all of us, if you look around at each other, it's amazing that we're all going through the same thing. It's really fascinating. Yeah, we all got such similar story. And it started with having to fight against each other to get some guy. Well, guess what? You ain't got to fight against each other no more. And then, you know, you can introduce each other to some guy if you really want the guy. Golly. You don't have to fight each other for him. Good Lord. So that's my subject for the day. Running. How are you running? And how are you going to quit running? And if you're going to continue to run, at least, you know, pace yourself. Have an energy bar now and then. Sit down, drink some water. And then keep up the good, you know, pace that you want. You know, and I will continue to practice what I preach. I went on a lovely hike today. I cooked myself a good meal. I sat down and had a little meditation. And then I got back to work. So, I'm just here to share. Just here sharing. And remember to vote.